Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a service on this classic engine, Briggs Stratton engine. People know them under all different names, but we normally call them the classic engine, and that way you know what we're sort of talking about. So most videos you'll find people just call them classic engine. The way you notice this engine, because sometimes they have all different casings, is it has the metal petrol tank with the plastic carb and the air filter on the top. Obviously they can come in metal and all kinds of things, but always that sort of shape. Right, I'm going to show you next what parts we're going to use. Right, I'm going to start this bit by saying what tools we're going to use today. Now I'm going to use a 1/2 inch and a 3/8 socket. They might vary a little bit because sometimes you have a 10mm and a 13mm rather than the 1/2 inch and the 3/8. They do vary a bit, but it's an American engine, so it's AF stuff. Got a little extension bar just to reach over the tank to make it easier. A flat screwdriver for the air filter. I've got the ratchet, but I haven't got it on here to go with the sockets. A funnel, any old funnel will do. And then we're going to the parts. Right, the parts we're going to use today, I've got another filter, only because this one's quite grubby and this one's already been cleaned. Actually it's fairly new, but it's been laying around, so but it's been washed. Diaphragm, got a selection of diaphragms there, and we'll talk about them when we get there. Oil, that's a 0.6 litre bottle, 600ml of oil, Briggs oil. That's all the parts we need. Right, we'll crack on and get on with it. As I was just saying about the spanner size, I've just checked these. This is a 3/8, and these two, one there's a bolt here at the front and there's a bolt around this side by the exhaust, back of the exhaust. These two around the back have been replaced with a 10mm. So, like I say, you never know if you're going to need 10mm 3/8. So what I'm going to do now is undo a bolt here, undo a bolt there, and then take it off. Loosen the 3 bolts, and I took that one out on the far side. Once you've loosened them, you only need to get like the extension on it. You need to turn it by hand. Trouble is, we've got a rather hot summer here at the moment, and everything I touch is getting soaking wet. Look, it's unbelievable. It's so hot at the moment. There's your casing, that's not too bad. Have a quick look in there, check your lugs are okay. That's all lovely jubbly. And then I'm just going to put it down here somewhere. So you can see it. Just check in between around here for your fins. This is your coil, you can check your gap. We know this one runs okay, so we're not going to worry with that. It's a bit close, to be honest. But we'll blow all that out before we put it all back together. So we're wobbling about. There you go. Right, now we'll do the air filter with a flat screwdriver. We'll do it. Very basic. It's even easier without the case on it at the moment. Take the bolt out so you don't lose it. And as you can see, it's well and truly covered in oil. It just comes off. As you can see, that was a fairly new air filter in there. In fact, that looks cleaner than the one we got there. So we might just wash that one out. Now we put the other one in. Right, first thing I want to mention about doing this is you never need to touch them springs. Them springs never need to come off. There's 2 springs there, and you do not need to touch these springs at all. You don't have to take them off. I've seen loads of videos where people are taking these off and it's completely wrong. So don't do it. They just unhook. There's a little metal bracket on there, a little rod that the springs go to, and we just unhook it off the rod, and I'll show you that in a minute. Another little tip is if you've got an extension and you try to get in here, you'll wedge the socket, so it's best to remove the petrol cap. This gives you that little bit more room. And if you notice, these tanks are sort of flattish here to do that. Another little tip is you've got this guard here, and normally if you've got the case on and that's bolted up, it won't move, but because we haven't, when we undo this bolt it will drop down, so just watch where it goes, and the little space through in there as well. Now we'll remove. I've loosened them. Like I say, there's not a lot to it. Oops, I've got to pick that up in a second. Tank will just sit there, you haven't got to panic about it dropping. Like I say, normally that space would stay there, it'd be all lovely and lined up when you go to put it back together, but obviously in our case, because we've got the case off, it won't, it'll actually sort of drop out like so, but we'll take it out of the way now. Now, what you've got to do is you've got a rubber boot here. I don't know where you can see it actually. There's a rubber boot, I'm trying to move you in a better place. Rubber boot here on a pipe, and then the carbs under the pipe there. Notice all the springs are still intact, we haven't touched them. Just ease it off, and then you'll see, I'll show you the bit better in a minute. There's a bracket, a metal bracket, and you just ease it off like so, and it's away. Now the springs are still in line, they all hook onto this little, try and get it out, onto this little metal bracket. No, nothing's been touched, so we haven't stretched them, we haven't done nothing, it's all moving on the governor, and that's sort of the most important thing, that you don't stretch them. Right, and why I'm doing the diaphragm, I'm going to drain the oil, because I use a pump. If you one of these ones have to tip it on its side to drain it, then you can do that at the beginning. Obviously it's best if you can run the engine before you start the service. Obviously we couldn't run this one actually because it's got no oil in it, or very little oil in it. So the oil's fixed, so it takes a little bit longer to come out. So it's always best to run it for like a couple of minutes and then do this. But yeah, for obvious reasons we couldn't run this one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drain the oil, and then we go on to, while that's draining, we'll do the diaphragm. The dipstick was at the back of the engine here. They're too tight, just put a screwdriver in and undo them. This one's not. There's nothing really on the dipstick, but there is some in there. So I'll remove that, and I'll just get the pump and show you the pump working. Right, I've got the pipe in, and as you can hear, it's struggling to get it up. It's getting air now, so it's like it's running out, but it's because the engine's flat. So we need to tilt the engine back, or the mower back, so the oil runs to the bottom of the engine, or the back of the engine. And you can use wood or whatever. I've got a little Mojack lift, and I'll put it underneath. I'll do that now. You can see it's a bit of overkill having the Mojack lift on it, but it's what I've got at hand, and it's what we use on all the machines. So it's just draining the final little bit out now, as you can hear. I have got another video of the pump, so if you want to look for the oil pump, I have got a video on here somewhere on my channel. But you can use several on the market. All the oil's drained out of the engine now, so we're going to concentrate now on the diaphragm. If you're going to wash your filter out, then you might as well do that first. That can be drying while you're doing the diaphragm. The next thing you need to do is to check that you've got the rubber ring and the little lock-in ring on here. Sometimes they stay on they get stuck onto the end of the tube coming from the engine, the inlet manifold. And then we're going to get some petrol. Just got a little bit in here, some old style petrol. You can use anything really. And I have got a parts cleaner, what I would normally use. and just get an old paintbrush, just sort of wash off the old rubbish and oil around it, just so you don't get dropping the tank basically. And bit of wood there. There's a knackered brush and it's pulled apart, as you can see, but a lump of wood I've just pulled out from underneath the car. But yeah, just sort of clean it down roughly, just makes it easier for yourself, nicer. You don't want to be covering oil all the time. Another thing I'm going to mention at this stage, because the air filter was really dirty underneath 99% of the time, it's because the engine's been turned up, the oil's flooded through and it's gone through there. But also obviously there's a breather pipe. What is this? Little plastic elbow. Check to make sure there's no splits in that, because if that's splitting, obviously it would breathe out here and then that would suck it up. Because when you think about it, this air filter's got oil in the bottom like this one has. The air comes through here, it doesn't come, you know what I'm trying to say here is that's come from underneath. So always check these, make sure they're not split. Make sure you haven't got an oil leak behind the bottom of the head gasket as well, and it's sucking down. Sometimes they do that, but most of the time it's just where they've been tipped about. You need like a Phillips or a posse screwdriver, depending on what you want to call it. You've got 5 screws, 2 on this side, 3 on this side. When you undo them opposites, because you can warp the carb when you undo them, when you crack them, that is. Trying to stay out of the way of the camera is awkward. The last one there. Once they're cracked out, okay, you can do them in any order then. I don't take the screws right out, I just undo them. Might find the old one sticks. This carb, I'm going to give it a bit of carb cleaning, but I'm not really going to clean it because it runs fine. Okay, and when you lift it up, you've got your intake pipe there. On this one, the diaphragm, everything's stuck up here, so you can see it stuck on there a bit. Let's have a little look. So I'll just drop the screws out of it, make it easier to show you. And underneath here is a spring. Underneath there's a spring, then we can see another screw. And there's your diaphragm. Gasket's on the top, diaphragm's on the bottom, and what goes on, what makes them sort of hump up and down, is where the spring goes. See the round circle there? It makes them, it stretches them, so they go baggy. And that's your problem, but like I say, that's the diaphragm. It's very, very thin. Alright mate, here comes a dog. So that's the diaphragm itself, that's the gasket. Your next job, as you can see, is petrol in here and petrol in here. A lot of the time you'll find that these are full of water if there's something the machine won't start. And it's been parked up for the winter. But your next job is to sort of clean that out. Just tip it out a bit. Right. We'll see there's dirt in the bottom. So it pays to clean all that out. Make sure that's all nice and clean. And then it's ready for the new diaphragm. Right, now we're going to have a quick chat, about 2 seconds, might be a bit longer, about diaphragms. I see a lot of people on YouTube using these, and there's two reasons they use them. One is they're cheap, very very cheap, and the other reason is they're a little bit thicker, so when you fit them they're a little bit easier than the Briggs, what is the original. What is this? There's the, hopefully you've got the number. Don't know if it's focusing, so it's 795083, and that's a diaphragm, and that's a kit, that is. That's the gasket and the, there you go, that's the gasket and everything. Now these are okay if you're just knocking machines out cheap and you want to make the most out your profit. These are about, at the moment they're about £1, and these are, I think these are about £3.50 plus VAT, something like that. Can't remember because obviously I get them trade these. So, but personally, I always fit these. These ones I've got. These ones. I've only got these because when I was doing a lot before, I bought a load because I was buying those so cheap, and because I don't use them, I've still got them. Another thing I just noticed, I'll have to compare it with this one. Yeah, that's something I've just noticed. If you look, don't know if you're better to see it on camera, where the spring goes, it's already bulged. And so on this one, it's actually shaped, so therefore it's taking the pressure off the spring already. So it's obviously a weak part. And obviously if you look on the Briggs one, yeah, it's got the mark there, but it's perfectly flat. But like I say, this has got to be half the thickness. The Briggs is half the thickness than this one. You know, I know budgets are tight out there sometimes, but at least you want to be doing it a lot. I found that when I parked, I was selling a lot of mowers and I used the cheaper ones. When I went to go, if I left them for a couple of weeks, when I go, they would run sort of lumpy again. But that's just my experience. I mean, other people have seem to be, like I say, a lot of people use them on YouTube. But personally speaking, spend the extra money, buy the Briggs stuff. Genuine. Yeah, I have had it in the past where I've split these putting on because they're so thin. But there you go. It's your personal, up to you. Your personal choice. I will be fitting the Briggs. I mean, just because I know what I prefer. But like I say, it's entirely up to you. Right, this is the Briggs diaphragm. I don't know if you can see how thin that is, how bendy that is compared to the other one if you've used the other one. And here's the gasket. I'm just going to get everything ready now to put it all back together. Right, the first thing I do is I put all the screws back into the carb. Just makes it easier. Sometimes, as long as you've got like a couple in, I think will do it. Makes it life a little bit easier. Hope you can see that okay. And then the diaphragm will just go on here. It's awkward because I've got the camera just where I want to be. And I'll just line that up. So, there's your diaphragm, and that just lays on top. Sorry, that's your diaphragm, that's your gasket. My mistake, as always. Oh dear. Right, that goes on there. The diaphragm first, gasket on the top. Get your carb, make sure your springs on it, make sure the filter's on it, and then you just slide it in. I'll just go on there so it's easy to see it. Like so. So everybody's coming out at the moment, the dog. I'll just start a couple off, and I don't particularly tighten them up. Grandson's just come out, so you might be able to hear him as well. And then we go from there, and I'll just tighten it down. So what I'll do now is wind the screws down. Not in particular any order, one just not in tightening them up, they're just sort of down so they're closer. You know what I mean? So like that. Oh, it's so hot today again. It's only about 10 o'clock because it's the next morning after the first bit of film. I had to stop last night, I had a flat battery. And about 10 o'clock, but it's nearly in the 30s already. Alright, so I've nipped them down. Again, just do like, sorry, I'm trying to do it so you can see. Just nip them down. Opposite, not tight, just nip them down for now. Everything's falling off the shelf as it heats up, and then you can go around and just nip them up. Don't over time. It's only plastic. You will warp it. You can crack them. There are different patterns you can do them up in. You can do them in whatever you want. So it's just nipped up. That's one diaphragm done. We've just got to put it back on the machine, and that'll be done. Right, next job I'm going to do is just wipe out this air filter. Just kick the camera. Got grandson here and the dog and everything else. And there's a lot of noise going on in the background. Maybe you can hear it. I want to wipe the worst of it out. Get your air filter. I should have looked at that first, didn't look at that very well, did I? Goes in that way. Casing goes on the top. Now, I always put a bead of clean engine oil around. The idea of that is it soaks in and it sucks, the dirt sticks to it. You don't have to do that. I'm not so, I say I always do it, I don't always do it. It depends on how I feel, but a lot of people just stick them in like that. Just grabs the dirt better. I mean, I must admit, it will make the filter look dirtier, but like this one's its colour. But there you go, one filter. Got the casing off. Have a look in here. And you can see this one, it's full of brass. So you want to clean that before you've got the tank out of the way. And you can get in there, clean the bottom of that out as well. That'll stop it overheating. I've put the engine casing back on it, just to make it easier to line up that bracket. And like I said, most of the time when you do a diaphragm you'll have that on it anyway, so I'm going to show it like that. When it's time to refit it, make sure you've got the ring and everything back in there. Doesn't matter if it's grubby on the outside, that's not how the car works on the inside. I kept saying this was a bracket earlier. My mistake, I don't know what you want to call it, a rod, it's the easiest one, it's a throttle rod. I won't go and get technical and find out what the real name for it is. Now, what you have to do is just, oh no, we need to do a couple of things here. Get your elbow, where's my hand, that's it. Get your elbow, that goes on there, because you need to push it on at the same time. I'll put the bolt back in the tank. That's a little bad habit, don't I? And just get your little rod and hook it in the hole without damaging the springs. All the time make sure it can move still. And as you slide this onto the inlet manifold, the carb onto the manifold, you put your rubber elbow onto your breather at the same time, and it just slots in like so. And before you put the bolts in, just make sure your springs ain't tangled up, and that's all moving. Hopefully you can see it. It's probably a black engine and the sun coming through the doors, if you can see it. And that goes in there. Line your bolt. This bolt's a bit down because obviously we've had it right off, so we have to fiddle it for a bit. That's lined up. Get this one, line this one up. Because it's not in there properly, that's it. Like so. If I thought we were a camera there, you can't see it. Why has it not gone lined up? Should line up. What we've got caught up there, that's it. Just don't think it was close enough. There we go. Wind it in and tighten it up in a second. Just get everything lined up. Like I say, keep checking them springs and that ain't caught up. A lot of people, when they have diaphragm problems, they see this going up and down, the governor moving, and they think it's a spring problem because that's what they can see. But all that is the engine's trying to keep the revs up and keep the, you know, so it's chucking it all out of sync sort of thing. So yeah, that's all lovely. I mean, it's all good under there, so that's great. Just tighten it up and air filter on and we're done. The last job to do is fit the air filter. Now this is more important than what you think, because I suggest you don't just follow my video on diaphragms, you look at other people's, and as soon as you see a video with an air filter that way round, walk away from the video. You know, you're gonna see them at the start, that's fine, because you'll find that a lot of mowers come in and they come that way because people think they're aerodynamic. You don't need aerodynamics on a mower. So if they finish a job and it's like that, then it's time to walk away. I do know a couple of channels where they've got them all lined up sitting there like that, but we're not going down that road. Anyway, so that goes on that way. This is curved. This is curved for the engine. It's obviously easy, it just goes on. You get your bolt when you can find it. Screw, and you just screw it in. It should, more or less, go straight in. It should be lined up perfect. And just need to tighten that up. I'll put my screwdriver and that's roll underneath. Again, no need. Oh, this I'll show you while I put it. What makes a difference? While we got it off, there's a little rubber ring on here. Make sure you see that. Make sure that's on there. Obviously, that just goes screws back down. Petrol cap back on. Take it outside, fill it up with petrol, and the job is done. And we'll do a test start in a minute. Now it's time to put the oil back in. These hold 600 ml of oil, always 0.6 of a litre, so I just use these Briggs Stratton 0.6 litre bottles. I do use a bigger bottle at home. It's just a matter of undoing it and tipping it in. I've already done it because I've filmed it a couple of times and made a bit of a balls of it. So there you go. And all we've got to do now is the spark plug. It's time for the spark plug. Turn the spark plug. I've only got 30 seconds of memory card left, so I'll do this as quick as I can. I hope this has been useful for you, and maybe it helps some people out. Like I say, I've only got a few seconds left, so if you like this sort of thing, subscribe, thumbs up, all the usual sort of stuff, and I'll see you next time. 6 seconds left, so see you later. Bye.